Hi traders, this is Thiago and welcome to Bull and Bear Futures channel. Let's start one more live transmission. As usual, the objective here is just to narrate the flow. I'm not trading, we are in the simulation account. Okay, so the objective here is to show the order flow concepts. I usually mix with chart and technical analysis, and my objective is to show how it gives you a competitive edge when you use one technique to complement the other one. Okay, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel, and if you really like the transmission, leave your like in the end of the video. What's up, Aaron? I'm a friend. Good morning. Let's start as usual from our morning brief. We're seeing since last week. Our latest transmission was on last Tuesday. We keep within the uptrend channel from March, okay, 12 March here, and we are in this overnight session. We are heading towards the 4,200, okay, 4,200, and we are positive 0.74% right now. Let's see what's going to happen. We have this Fibonacci at 4251, and before this 4220 is another region that we could see some defense or some activity. It's been a couple of highs in February and maybe January. Okay, so it's a region we should be looking at. Markets excited with China figures this night. Also, housing market figures seem to be interesting as well. It's a kind of slowdown in the market. So, in terms of inflation, it could be interesting. And as Zero mentioned here in the chat, the earnings season. We are in the earnings season, so it's usually brings some data or some important perception to players, depending on the market player it is that's releasing the financial statements. So let's see what's going to happen. Okay, yesterday we had a session. We are seeing many sessions starting 30-45 minutes sideways, trading sideways, and this was what happened yesterday, trading within a tight range many times. Yesterday was 8-9 points, I guess. And then in the afternoon, that market decided and assumed a huge uptrend, an interesting hike towards the 180. That was the high, and the close at 176. So let's see. We just open. Let's see what's going to happen. We are opening far above the value area high. Value area high is 171. It's down here in my chart here. We have the resistance one right at the 189 here, 189. Let's see, we are right there. Let's see what's going to happen here. And we have the obviously the 4200 is a psychological barrier. These round numbers always usually plays an interesting role. So it's, in the case we keep moving upwards, it's important to see what's going to happen. Anyway, we should watch out because it's not unusual to see this overnight excitement. Sometimes during the regular session, many times we see a retracement of the overnight gains. So it's important to watch out. And even though we are seeing a clear uptrend, it's always important to to stick to the flow and to read the context to see what's happening, what's actually happening. So that's it. Value area high at 171, resistance one right here. We are right there. So it actually we're starting with a strong in a daily chart. We have a gap. We're opening with a gap, and let's see how market will behave. I guess. Let me see. Let me check about the. At 1 p.m. we have a funk member speaking, so we don't have any figures to be released till there. So at 1 p.m. this guy will be speaking. We have speak from will be funk and fat guys speaking today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And in such an decision moments like we're seeing, we're living, all those speeches or interviews are very weighted because market try to get clues about what fat guys are funk and fat guys are thinking. So it's important to watch out at that time because we can see an increase in the volatility. And so let's move here to the screen, and let's see. Considering we had this overnight hike with China figures and how the starts seem not to be unfavorable. Let's see how will be the behavior. I was mentioned before that we are ranging. It's been usual to get ranging around 30, 45, sometimes 1 hour. In some sessions in a tight region, in other ones 8, 10 points. Sometimes it's 4 points. You're really too tight. So let's see what's going to happen today. We have 4 minutes of session, and we're seeing here that we are ranged from 88 to 90. Just let me put here. Let me put here my numbers here. So here the 89 to 91 was a region I had previously noted. So we should actually pay attention to this. Upwards we had a 96 and 200. So reaching there we could take a look at there before the 200. Let's see if something will happen 96. And moving downwards, we have also here the 80 that could be important. Okay, yesterday high, 81 was important before, 85 within, and value area high at 71. So let's see if price will be able to, if sellers will actually want and be able to push price downwards. So let's see what's going to happen. So this 89 to 91 could be the first barrier, and it's actually working. Let's take a look here for the first time in the volumetric bars. We're seeing the interest from both sides here in the from 88 to 950. Did you see? Because we see buyers making aggressive orders, sellers absorbing, and sellers making aggressive orders as well, and buyers absorbing. So when we see this, the only conclusion is that we're seeing interest from both sides, and then we need to be patient and expect which side will win this struggle here. If sellers will be able to keep pushing downwards, or buyers will win and be able to push price up. Uh, anyway, we have a bullish indication because we have this struggle up here. We have a gap. We have an opening gap here. We are a bit above now from the resistance. Oh, right at the resistance one. So this is a bullish signal. Okay, with this indication, we could expect to see this here. And let's see what's going to Let's see what's going to happen. In the something that I've been mentioning is the liquidity in the book, in the level two. Here I don't have the detailed. I don't have the detailed, but we have the summit amount of contracts in each price. And for some time ago, couple months, weeks, we see the usual depth of market here was 800 contracts, 700 to 900 was usual. And for 1 month, around 1 month, we could say, we're seeing 12, 13, 1400. That's actually an increase. We're seeing that this, in my reading, this shows that maybe a kind of indecision. We have both sides get in position to try to defend their perspectives, and so this for me is another reason to see things tight, so tight as it is 80 minutes, and you have a range with 2 points range. It's too tight. It's a narrow. It's a really narrow range, and we're seeing from this contracts, even though the amount of huge share of the trades are from algorithms, from robots. We're seeing that even them are putting more contracts in the screen. And look here, we have 4,000, 3,000 contracts on each side. It's it's a huge amount for for an opening, and for at any point of the session. It's a huge struggle. It's a huge amount of contracts traded. Let's see now if we're going to overcome the 9-1, and then if it's going to reach the 9-6. I get noted. We had at the opening, we had an exhaustion right at the 425. Yeah, Aaron, I'm just reading Aaron message in the chat. There's a huge gap actually. I it's not been that usual to see this kind of gaps, and yeah, it's a bullish gap. Then we could see things moving up, but we're seeing, for me, it's interesting because it seems that market or players seem that's lacking confidence. Any positive data, okay, it's good, but it's not. It's missing some conviction to actually push price upwards. So let's see. I'm just turning off my camera to get things um quick, not to. Let's see. Let's see what's going. You see, we have this region that prices kept struggling. We overcame it, but 2 points, 2 points above, it started. struggling again. So uh, it's not been easy. Even in a bullish condition, we're seeing that markets finding a lot of liquidity here. We're seeing sellers absorbing all the aggressiveness of buyers, but and also trying to push downwards. And even though I wouldn't be trading anyway, since I'm in these conditions, I don't trade. But you see, it's not for my style. It's kind of boring and risky to trade this. I don't think it works because here we have a three-point range, and we were ranging in 1.5 and 1.5 points. So it's it's not enough to see. It's not enough for me to worth the risk. Let's see if we're going to be able to reach the 994.25, because if we fail if we fail to reach it, it could be the first if it fails to reach the 425, it would be a signal of weakness. So we could see, or fading here, we could see another test to 89. Yeah, Aaron, you're right. It's just need to be patient, because sometimes trying to get these moves here is risky. If we see yesterday 15 minutes, we see the size of shadows, and it's hard to, for me, I like looking the 15 minutes to check these shadows, because seeing big shadows both up and down the bodies, it shows the volatility or indecision. So it gets riskier to try something. And as Aaron mentioned, after 2 p.m., market decided, and after failing to lose the 4150, it assumed an uptrend that led to a 30-point move. Let's see. Let's see what's going to happen. From the range now from 88.75 to 9250, less than 4 points. So far, the volumetric bars, for those who follow me, already know that I like seeing all the action. I look at the volumetric bar. So far, we are seeing this congestion from 9225 to 875. We had an exhaustion in 8775, and also at 9425. Okay, and let's see which side will win this battle. I'm having sometimes a connection fail. Excuse me about that. Aaron, I actually just a second, please. I I do not look all the time. So Aaron is asking about the times and sales, and you see that it's in the right hand side of my screen, in the end of the screen. Besides this one I'm showing there, I have another one that does not fit in the screen. That is the filtered. Uh, I actually, it's interesting because I usually see more than the numbers, the colors. I don't get looking at this, but sometimes it calls my attention to absorptions. For example, I'm seeing only green, the screen, and price is not moving. So before I think the filtered times and sales, I think is interesting because it I think that for huge or for bold moves, for relevant moves, we need to see lots of contracts. We need to see uh, or either bulls or bears spending lots of contracts. Okay, so for example, in a breakout or before a breakout, if I not see, in the case of not seeing a strong activity of the players that are in favor of the move, I I I don't throw all the time this visual because I'm not looking, but in my peripheral vision, I'm seeing that it's predominantly green or predominantly orange. So it's just this way, and the numbers actually I see in the filtered one. For example, sometimes you see that it gets many minutes, several minutes with a big block or a big order. So in this sense, I get this market feelings, market perceptions through the big orders. So let's see. We move it until the previously had an exhaustion in 9425. Now that have been overcome, prices reached only 9475. You see that it's not enough for a breakout, or it's been usual to see this. You think that's going to have a breakout, and then after succeeding, players responsible for the move just get quiet, stop. Welcome, Aaron. We are here exactly to discuss and to chat about this perceptions, and my intention is really to add something. Okay. I actually don't follow the NQ. I don't get this in my screen here. And look, we're going to 25 minutes of session, and keeping the same range. Aaron, yeah, the volumetric bars. I know that there is the oscillation is the volatility is too strong. It's too much, isn't it? Under each screen to see the volumetric bars. Yes. Did you see? We just have a breakout down here and have an exhaustion in 725. Let's see if buyers will defend and be able to move upwards, or it will actually stop here, because this is difficult. You see, we have a move upwards and failed to overcome the 425. It overcame, but stopped it there. We had an exhaustion over there, and now we just have broken out the base here, the 88, 825, 850, and there was an exhaustion in 725. Let's see now if buyers will be able to put pressure and move price up the 90 here, because you see here we have 5,000 contracts, and then we reduce it. It still keeps big. We have huge amounts over there, but we have 500, 5,000 to 2,000. Okay, so failing to overcome this region, it's hard to trust because we are ranging, we are not trending, okay? But anyway, this is an important region. So failing here could maybe lead to a correction, but seeing all this, seeing all this activity here, it's hard to, and that we were sideways. It's always important to wait a real breakout and then wait for a confirmation. And if you see moving upwards, we would need to maybe overcome the 9 to 1, and overcoming 9 to 1 could reach again to 9.4. Let's see, they're putting pressure again, but look at what I was telling. Let's see if it will be different this time. Aaron, we have here the volumetric bars. We had so far there was predominantly the green, that is buyers aggressive orders. Okay, we are not seeing in with the big contracts a huge amount of contracts. So as I was telling, I prefer to see big blocks favorably to the move. It does not mean that breakouts cannot happen without big orders, but I think that they are more trustful when we see strong action from the side that is causing the breakout. But now we have broken few contracts here after the break, but let's see if it's, let's see how it will behave. Oh, we have broken the 90, and now buyers putting pressure and sellers absorbing at 83. The lows. This many times is a bearish signal. Let's see how buyers will behave. They're also absorbing sellers activity. Let's see. Look how interesting it is. I was mentioned before about the depth of market, okay? That it's been usual 800, 900, and now for 1 month on, we are seeing 1300. Look at here now, 2200, 1.800. All this, look here, we are seeing now that buyers are actually in the game and trying to hold here. So with such an intensity, we have the breakout, and now we are holding on here in the 83 and showing all the intention, not only absorbing, but lots of contracts in the book. Let's see if they're going to be able to hold the move here, to stop the move here. My internet is really poor. Excuse me for that. There's a strong rain here a couple of minutes ago, and probably it's have some problems with the signal, so it's buffering. We're seeing now we had this absorption in 83 that buyers put pressure and sellers absorb it, and now we're seeing sellers putting pressure and buyers absorbing and at 3.5. Let's see here if sellers will be able to keep the pressure. They were able to hold price 7 points below the previous congestion, previous lateralization. But we are seeing that all the time buyers are absorbing. This is the case that it's really, oh, we are close to the close. But you see, it's not been easy to, even though now we had 10 points, we've moved 10 points downwards. It does not mean that buyers are out of the game there. They kept absorbing. Look at here from 84 to 80. Sellers were aggressive, but buyers are really trying to to hold the move. But now when we see the 4,000 tick here, we have the 20 periods moving average really pointing downwards. When it's sideways, for me, it's a clear signal that it's a bit difficult to trade. Oh, look here. This absorption is not usual to see in such a move. This is really bearish. Does not mean that bears will win, but this is bearish. We're seeing prices moving downwards, buyers making lots of aggressive orders, but sellers absorbing. Yes, it reached the yesterday's close from 94. Look at now, 94 to 75, practically 20 points. We got sideways for 20 minutes, I guess, from 88 to 92, and then it decided to. Today's decision was came earlier than yesterday, and then many other sessions. But when I see these gaps, especially in decision moments as we are living, it's okay, things are bullish, but it's hard. It was a gap that was made in the overnight session with few contracts. Uh, we all know that the intensity during the night is okay. It's. I'm not saying it's meaningless. There was a reason for that move, but we need to watch out and to pay attention and to balance our mood based on what happened during the night. Okay, this is important info, but it's not unusual to see this kind of retracement after the gap. And many times it's just a matter of closing the gap and then keeping the resuming the turning back and resuming the previous move. Let's see what's going to be the case. 177 was the high for 2 or 3 sessions. Yesterday we had the high at 180. So I would say that this region we are right now from 75 to 80 or uh, just let me see as 181 was an important point. 80 is the value area. No, is yesterday's high and close 76. 75 is also important. So let's see. It would be important for buyers to hold the move here and preferably to be able to push price to the 90 again. We will certainly see a barrier here at the 8890. It will not be easy. It will likely not be easy to overcome it, but to see bulls' strength, to check about their strength, we would need to at least see it reaching the 8890. If we fail here at the 80, it would be a stronger bearish signal. Let's see. We're seeing all the activity here, both sides trading, both sides trading lots of contracts. If we see prices trading below 79 and see buyers' aggressive orders being absorbed by sellers around the 78, this would be a bearish signal. In the case of overcoming here, let's see if they will reach the 84. 84 here probably would be also another important important region. So for those who are, the volume at price here at Superdome is a very important tool for me, because I always look, I won't look for action or for potential trades in areas where there's lots of interest. Let's see here, if buyers overcome here the 150, does not mean that the 4 would be overcome. We could see also resistance over there, but we see, look at here, we had an exhaustion in 175. I was looking at the volume at prices explaining and lost that. I haven't seen this, but I was looking at this region because this is the end of a small range here. Okay, the 75 is where the number of contracts dramatically reduce. 300, 2300, 1200, 400. Okay, so this reduction of traded volume is something I always look at. And this fail, this exhaustion right at the end of this range, for me is meaningful. Look at here, we were in a downtrend and we have the moving average pointing downwards. So this is also another interesting signal I usually look. So when I mention about mixing the order flow tools and charts, it's about this. You see, we were reaching the moving average, but at the same time, here at the volume at price, we were seeing this concentrated volume, okay, towards an end of the range, and also in the volumetric bar, we've seen an exhaustion right at the point we're looking at, right at the end of the range. So did you see we had three indications about the possibility? So when we have, in my perspective, when I get this kind of, for example, we have, when I have three facts, because these are, we're talking about facts, not perceptions. When we have three facts pointing to the same, or converging, pointing uh, to the same direction, it gets stronger. But you see that we just arrived at 775, 725 to 8125. It's a 4 points range, okay? So in the same way, it was not easy to overcome the 8150 up there. We tend to see some struggle here in 7725 before eventually moving downwards. You see that here in the 850, we had activity before, and then right there only 7 contracts. Now in this try, they are putting a bit more pressure, but you see that we didn't see dozens of contracts traded there. It reached again the top of the range, and we have just 34 contracts in a one by one basis. This is not the way to succeed in a breakout. So we are in a downtrend. prices failed in 175 once, and now faded in 850. This is not that bullish, but we are seeing that but this few amount here, it does not mean that it's not going to break up there, but this lack of interest above the 80 or even the 80, this is definitely bearish. Let's see here, 77.25, or especially here, the 25 could be a bit dangerous, especially because we are in a downtrend, and we have the 76 here with huge amount of contracts. But we could say the first reference would be 77.25. As I mentioned before, the indecision we are living, sometimes we get excited, and we are always, as traders, we are always waiting for a breakout. But especially when we see a big range, such as this one, with thousands of contracts in each level, it gets more difficult to see in both sides. For example, now we are in a downtrend. In theory, when you see a lateralization downtrend, it tend to be easier to see a breakout in the lower end, and the opposite is valid when we're moving upwards, when we're in an uptrend. But with such an indecision, when we see this amount of contracts, it's hard to choose one side and say which would be winning. Let's see again. 825, it's it's been attacked now. Let's see if it will pass through the 175. Passing the 75, we would have the 3-4 here that would probably work as, could also offer some resistance. So now look here. I'm always tell also context. We made the low. We had the low at 75, right at a bit below of the yesterday's close. We reached the moving average. We've moved downwards and failed in making a new low. Okay. Previous low was higher than last one. So at this time, in such a condition, I prefer to avoid the top of the range, because at this time we could be seen a pivot here. This here is we had an uptrend pivot, so it could be overcome now. So in such a condition, when prices are trying to start an uptrend, even trading at the end of a range, I prefer to avoid the risk. And if it's the case to get short, I would prefer to see, I would prefer to try a short if we see the downtrend resuming and see increased pressure of buyers, increased pressure of sellers, and then in a kind of pullback, then I would short. It can work. It could work. The ranges are very powerful. But in such a condition, we're always dealing with risk management, risk return ratio, And for me, this in this case, it's sometimes doesn't worth it. Let's see if it's going to reach the 78 at least 7875. Let's see the 2 minutes. The 5 minute here is interesting. We had in 15 minutes 8175 was the high. Okay, now we just reached the 50 and failed. We have a strong downward leg here, 3 5 minutes candles, and we are seeing this resistance at the 8175. I would say that I like it to in the past. I like it to face this risk to try to short here in the 8150. But now I'm more cautious. So if we see price trading below the 78 trade losing this range, we could see things speeding up maybe until the 71 there where we could see some resistance, some support again. But let's see, let's wait. On the other hand, now after trying so many times here and failing, even though the 84 is important for me, this range, this little range is showing me it's important. Now I wouldn't try anything here as well, right at the first point, because after such a battle here, we could see prices passing through the 84. It would be likely to at least get stuck here, but it's in such a condition we are seeing now, it would be possible to see moving. But if this time as well we fail to overcome the 8175, an exhaustion again in the 150 and absorbing, but we are seeing buyers are being actually aggressive. But do you see that is lacking conviction, lacking contracts? In one by one basis, it's definitely not the way to make the breakout. And since sellers are actually active, such a message in one by one, no big blocks, it's risky. Look at here for those who like chart patterns. Look at here what we're seeing. When you see, if you're in an uptrend and see so many tries this way to overcome resistance, it's interesting because then we could see it would be possible to see it moving up. But now we're in a downtrend. Prices failed, were not able to reach the previous region and spending 20 minutes trying to break the wall here and failing. So we are always talking about probability. There's no certainty, but in such a condition and based on what's is seen, we are seeing in the flow, this scenario would be more likely to see the breakout down here than over there. But as just mentioned, we're talking about likelihood. We're talking about likelihood. So uh, there's nothing impossible. You have never 100% certainty. You have probabilities. If there was a way to be always certain, to have certainty all the time, this wouldn't be so difficult as it is. Yeah, Aaron, did you see it? So it's interesting to see. I've been preferring to use the 4,000 ticks from 1 month or so, but it's interesting to take a look once in a while in chart also in time based as well, because we can get this perception. Sometimes the patterns are better. Let's see, trading below the 78.25 could be the reference here, even though we have this lower end of the range. Let's see here what's going to happen. But buyers will need to be active to be able to hold here. American market is too based in the chart. We have it's predominantly technical traders, so this kind of pattern is too strong. Oh, did you see? Wow, what a breakout. Is it going to reach the 71? 71 is the, hey Aaron, did you see this guy? 71 is the top of the value area. Amazing, isn't it? I really enjoy seeing this. It's really interesting to see. It's kind of seeing the wave being formed, and it's even better when you can get into this. Yeah, guys, did you see this? Really interesting. This was a kind of picture you see in the books, isn't it? Look at this. Had this downwards leg, then the descending triangle, and then the breakout. Amazing. Something that I actually don't look usually. Legal, Adam. In theory, the target of the move would be the size of the previous leg. In the case is 18 points. This is something I don't consider, I don't look at actually, but if we take this into account, the target would be around 160, 148. I don't know. 93275, 18 points. 58, it would be around the support one. It's interesting. Did you see? I've mentioned about the. It was interesting down there. I was mentioning about the coincidence of indicators. We were on the top of the range. We were close to the here. Turning back to the 4,000 ticks that I like using, we were right at the resistance line, the moving average. In this case, a resistance. We have the end of the range at 150. It's been actually difficult to overcome. And then I just decided to take a look at the 5 minutes. And when I see this, we were in the third triangle, in the third candle here, and it was clear we had this descending triangle in course. So this is why I defend to mix all to kind of mixed martial arts. Currently, no one is able to win knowing only one martial art. All the players, all the fighters knows at least two, three, four. For me, here is pretty much the same. We need to join or to get all the not all the info, because I think that for us reading info, reading news, this is not actually the way that we're going to succeed when trading. But mixing these capacities, these skills in terms of reading different, get different signals, stay open to assess different source and get different signals. Let me turn back here to the 4,000 ticks. Amazing, isn't it? Just let's see here. Sorry, just put in here the below before this lower under the 70 you have 66, 63, and yesterday point of control 62.5. Let's see. 66 we just reached it. We're pretty much there. Then we have 63. Let's see if it's going to if we're going to see any action in the 63. And just reminding here, if you're actually liking, if you think it's useful, it's worth, just leave a like in the video. It's really helpful for the channel, and I would be happy. We're seeing here, we're in a downtrend, sellers putting pressure, buyers trying to defend, making aggressive orders, and sellers providing liquidity. We are seeing today struggles in lower and lower levels, okay? First, we had 20 minutes around the 90. When we got the breakout, we have some activity in the 80, then in 76. So we are seeing sellers being able, the struggle stopping in lower and lower levels. This is a clear signal of weakness, of a bearish signal. But it's always possible to see the pullbacks. Pullbacks are part of the business. So let's see. Let's see let me, sometimes I like drawing lines when I see them. Okay, look here at the 4,000 ticks, we could also see the triangle here, okay? But this is not that clear. I like the 4,000 ticks because many times it gives more info for my style, for the way I trade. But the time based, look at this case. Here it was like crystal clear about the possibility, not about what would actually be happening, but what could be happening. Here was not that clear. We've seen the triangle. We were seeing it trading, facing difficult to overcome the resistance, but the triangle here was not that clear, such as in this case. Did you see this? So let's see what's gonna happen. We are right at the pivot point as well. I forgot about the pivot point. We have the value area high at 71 and pivot point in 68.5. So we would be likely to see pivot point is always a region that we see things uh, getting a bit of stuck. We see some struggle around it. So let's see what happens here, and if we see a pullback, because so far all we are seeing is buyers really active, but losing for sellers that are being able to stop the move, stop the hike in a. Hi Frank, sorry guy, I mentioned my connection here. A imagem, minha conexão tá ruim hoje, cara, me desculpa. Você escreveu em português, eu não sei se você entende português ou prefere outra língua, mas hoje eu sei, eu te peço desculpas, mas realmente a conexão tá ruim. Choveu um bocado aqui, eu tive problema. Nas próximas vezes, certamente você, ou se você vê as anteriores ou as próximas, normalmente está melhor que isso, me desculpa. Falou, Frank, você é brasileiro, né? Vamos no português mesmo. Pois é, cara, foi mal. Às vezes dá problema e hoje choveu pacas aqui agora há pouco. Infelizmente, a conexão não tá legal, mas junta aí na terça que vem, a gente vai estar mais legal e fica um bate-papo bom aqui uns minutinhos antes. Então, cola aí um pouquinho antes, a gente fica batendo esse papo aí. Okay, guys, we're just 1 hour and almost 1 hour and 50 minutes. I extended a bit from the usual time. I will be finishing here, and thank you for joining. Today was interesting. The beginning was too. It's kind of it was boring. We got tight in a tight range, and but fortunately today the decision came earlier. Yesterday it was only in the afternoon, and today we had all this downwards move, then this descending triangle. It's been interesting. Hope you have enjoyed. Next Tuesday we'll be here. I will be here again, and we can do this. We will do this the same style of transmission. I would be happy to see you guys here. Just remembering both for you guys that are watching here, watching now, and the guys that are watching the recorded version afterwards. If you like, leave your like, it's really helpful, and hope to see you next Tuesday, ok? Thank you so much. Frank, valeu, brigadão por estar aí. Não sei se é a primeira vez, mas vem aí, a gente está sempre por aqui. Aaron, good to see you here again. Aaron is always here. Have a nice week, everyone, and see you on Tuesday. Okay, Aaron, for you too. Hope you make money. It's the objective of all of us. Okay. Thank you, guys. See you.